Okay, this is the last video of 6 where we're going through some free response questions now. You're given a polynomial and you're asked to find the derivative of it. Show your steps for full credit and don't leave anything unsupported. So the derivative would be keep the -1 essentially, bring down the 3, take x to the 2. Keep the 10, bring down the 2, take x to the 1. And then we have a 29 negative, who is the derivative of -29x. 32's derivative is 0. And so this derivative in its most simplified form is -3x squared plus 20x minus 29. That is the derivative at any value of x. In part B, they ask for the linearization. It's a fancy way of saying tangent line. And the way that works is the slope of the tangent line is this derivative, and we evaluate it at some x equals a. We multiply that by x minus a, and we add on the function at a. This is the tangent line called the linearization of your function. Locally, your function will look linear. The closer you stay to x equals a, the closer this approximation is to the actual. X equals 3, there's your a value. And so we'll do the derivative at 3 multiplied by x minus 3 and add on f of 3, and y equals that will be your linearization. So what is the derivative? What is the function at 3? F of 3 is the opposite of 3 cubed plus 10 times 3 squared minus 29 times 3 plus 32. That is a -27. It's the difference between the opposite of 3 cubed and -3 parentheses cubed. Two different things. One is a -27. I guess the other one is also a -27. Okay, they are the same. When it's squared, they'd be different. Well, I don't think that's always going to happen, though. If they were squared, -3 squared is not the same as -3 quantity squared. This guy technically is a -9, while this guy is a +9. But with a cube, it's fine. So anyway, we have a -27, and then we have a 90, and then we have 60. No wait, 90 minus 3. 87 minus 87 plus the 32. So what would be the best way to do this? Well, let's just go left to right. I'm sure there's a better way, but anyway, so that'll be 63 minus the 87 will be -24 plus the 32 is an 8. F of 3 is 8. F prime of 3 is -3 times 3 squared plus 20 times 3 minus 29. That'd be a -27 plus a 60 minus a 29. And then let's see, 33 minus 29, it's a 4. F prime of 3 is 4. So this equation is going to be 4 times the quantity of x minus 3 plus an 8. I think that works out right. Yeah, we'll go with that. So now we want to use this linearization, L of x, to approximate the function. Leave it as it is. Don't worry about trying to distribute it out. It's better actually not distribute it out. Because when we put this 3.22 in here, we get 4 times 0.22, the difference between them. We subtract off a 3 from that, and then we add on 8. And so what we get is 0.88 plus the 8. 8.88 is your approximation to what the function is at 3. This here is your linearization at 3. 2 decimal places in your answer. No credit for giving the exact value of. Got it. Okay, we got that one. Now we have Professor X. It's funny. He's a valuable rock connection that she will sell and invest the money in an account until the year 2050. The collection increases in value the longer she waits to sell it. The amount of money in the account in 2050 is given by this formula in thousands of dollars, where T is the year she sells the collection, measured as the number of years since 2016, and it'll spit out thousands of dollars. So this function is 10 times the square root of 3t plus 1, and then that's times an exponential term, 1.02 to the negative 1.5t. So therefore, when it's time to take a derivative, we have a first function and a second function multiplied together. So we're talking about the product rule. So the derivative is going to be the derivative of the first function. Now, if you have a function who is a square root of another function, then that guy is raised to the 1/2 power. Its derivative would be 1/2 that guy to the negative 1/2, and then chain rule times the derivative of that guy. So it's like 1/2 square roots of h of x times h prime of x. That's what we're going to do here. Keep the 10. 1/2 square roots of 3t plus 1 times 3t plus 1's derivative, who's 3. All of that represents the derivative of the first. We multiply that by the second, 1.02 raised to the negative 1.5t. Put a plus sign and leave the first alone, and multiply by the derivative of the second. If you have your function as some other function, some number a raised to some other function, your derivative will be a repeat. When you're exponential, your derivative is a repeat of that. There's an extra factor of the natural log of the base, and then chain rule comes in where you multiply by the derivative of the exponent. And so that's what we're going to have here. We take our first, and now we're going to multiply by 1.02 to the negative 1.5t, and then we do the natural log of 1.02, and then finally negative 1.5t's derivative is negative 1.5. There's a lot going on there, but that's the derivative of the second. Let me fix this up. I have make some more room here. This 2 can turn this 10 into a 5. 15 over the square root of 3t plus 1 times 1.02 to the negative 1.5t. 10 square roots of 3t plus 1. Okay, and then this one I'm going to write as the negative 1.5, the ln of 1.02, and then 1.02 raised to the negative 1.5t. There we go. That's your derivative. It tells you the rate of change of your function. The rate of change of your function. Your function measures how much money is in your account in thousands of dollars. So this is going to tell you how much money is in your account in terms of thousands of dollars, how it's changing over time. F prime of 5 is the rate of change. The rate of change of the amount of money in your account in the year 2021. 5 years away from 2016. So our job is to plug a 5 in and keep 3 decimal places in the answer. Okay, so we need to go to calculator. 1 second. Okay, a great online calculator is called Mathway. And so we're going to go to Mathway and have it calculate this for us, plugging a 5 into this. The good thing that happens though is that the root of 3t plus 1, 3 times 5 is 15, plus the 1 is 16, and you take the square root, so that's a 4. So we'll simplify that part by saying it'll be 15 over 4. Oh wait. There we go, 15 over 4. And we multiply that by 1.02 raised to the negative 1.5 times 5. Comes down from that. Then there's a plus sign. And then there's a 10. That same square root is a 4. And then times by your negative 1.5, your ln of 1.02, and then your 1.02, once again, raised, should put a time symbol in between there, times raised to the negative 1.5 times 5. Let me double check that. 15 over 4, 1.02 to the negative 1.5 times 5, plus 10 times 4 times negative 1.05, 1.5, natural log 1.02, 1.02 to the negative 1.5. Okay. Round your answer to 3 decimal places. So 2.208. Okay, great. 2.208. 2.208. Yep. And the units are thousands of dollars per year. So in 2021, your account is increasing by $2,208. Yeah, $2,208 a year. You should expect in the next year for your account to go up by that amount. Okay. All right, that's it. All done.